Do it's Chemdork.
Hello everyone, this is Chemdork, and welcome to episode number 54 of Season 2 of My Buildcraft, where we are playing Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Thermal Expansion, and Forestry. Well, it's good to be back here in the world, and I gotta say, after taking some time and not playing, coming back into the world just kind of feels like a nice warm blanket. Just kind of it's so nice to be back. It's a comforting feeling to jump back into a world that you've spent some time in and then took a little time off. So here I am again, and we're actually looking at the rear of my base, the behind of the base, if you will. There's the tower, obviously. Um, and yeah, it doesn't look as nice from the back as it does from the front, but that's just it. So over here you can see the big old redwood I planted some time ago. The pyramid base is somewhere over there. And I didn't just go back here to show you the view from the back. I came back here to actually kind of show you this area behind here, which is actually pretty cool. We haven't really gone here before. Um, Over there, so there's the base, right? So over here you can just make out Chemdork Gardens, at least the edge of it, so it's pretty cool. And if we look down, we see this nice big old black stuff. Yeah, we got oil here. We got lots of oil. We got a big old geyser of oil here. It's a great world, isn't it? And not only that, if we look over here, just a short distance away, there's even more oil. It's a little geyser, but it's a geyser nonetheless. So we have oil for days. We have tons of oil. Even though the main base had a little bit of oil to start with, we mined it out, pumped it all out, and now it's gone. But now there's oil over here. And what I want to do is, well, first of all, this is going to be the area for the robot base, this little plains area. We're going to need to set up transportation to here through the minecart system. That will be another episode for sure. Probably not now. I'm just going to start setting up some things here initially. And then, well, I'll probably use the plains of this area to set up the base, kind of in the style of Season 1's base, where it was just kind of some structures in a flatter kind of area. So that's kind of going to be the idea. Whereas this base is really built into a mountain. And I actually would like to... I know there's lots of ways of getting the oil from there to here. We can just pump it. I mean, that's the easy way. But the cool way would be to use robots. And that's what we're going to actually do. We're gonna have robots transport the oil from here to my base. Just because robots. Just because fun. If you don't think that's efficient and you don't like the way I'm going to say to do that, then you just aren't interested in fun. And go away, man. This is Minecraft. It's made to be fun. So let's have some fun. And first, let's actually learn about the fluid mechanics of robots. I have not messed at all with fluids and robots. So let's go to the creative world and totally screw up that learning about robots. So see you there. Hey guys, it's time to play around with some robots once again, and this time we're going to play around with the fluid dynamics of robot mechanics. So, robots and fluids and liquids and whatnot. What I have here is a man-made or a Chemdork-made oil geyser, just to help us out. I basically made it the same way it spawns in the world, which is a 1x1 tunnel all the way down, very, very far. And just fill it up with oil buckets and get a geyser at the top. So yeah, there it is. So this is all oil buckets here. So we're going to use this as our sort of mimic for an oil geyser. There is no bulb at the bottom, but I don't think that'll matter. I have tanks set up. There's one here, one here. These two have black wool, and they're going to be where we put oil. And these two have blue wool on the bottom, and that's where we're going to put some water. And we're going to pump some water out of here into these. And we're going to pump some oil out of here into this one, and then transport it from here to here. So in order to do that, we're going to be using two different robots. And before I get into things, you might be noticing that there's a strange-looking block right here. And this is actually the zone planner. It changed its appearance, and so did like every block in Buildcraft, because I am using Buildcraft version 7. It's the .13 version of the 7 version, and part of, actually a number of changes have been made, and one of the changes that has been made is the appearance. So things look a little different than they used to. A little less cartoony. I don't know if I love the new look, but it's interesting. So for example, here's the filler and builder. They look wildly different than they used to. Some other things to note: the advanced crafting table is depreciated, and the other main difference is that, well, robots have been improved a lot just in terms of how they work. There's been some additions to how they function in terms of gates and docking stations and stuff. And then the other thing to note is that there's a stamper and recipe packager. These kind of work in tandem or work together. Haven't really played with these at all, and so yeah, we'll get to that eventually. But as you notice, the engines look quite different too. So yeah, a lot of things look quite different. But we'll get into things as we kind of move forward. So I have a little setup here. It's meant to, well, basically it's meant to, yeah, I'll get rid of that. I was kind of playing around a bit just to make sure that things were okay. So it's meant to be where each of these turns on a pipe wire. So it's just set to turn on a pipe wire when it gets a redstone signal. And then each of these is turned on effectively in sequence. So these are docking stations. If you haven't known about robots, look at the other videos where we messed with them. So we have it set so that the red pipe signal is off, the robot goes to the station. If it's on, the robot works in an area, and we'll specify that in just a moment. And this is for the blue pipe wire, same thing, and this is the same thing except for yellow pipe wire and green. And so what this basically means is that if we want to turn on a robot, we just turn on the corresponding pipe wire. Okay? Okay. So now let's look at the robots we're going to use. We're going to use two of them. One is called a pump robot, and it does kind of what it says. It pumps out liquids. Well, okay, it does a little more than that. What it does is removes liquids from the world and puts them into a tank. That's the way to think about what a pump robot does. A tank robot does exactly what it says here, moves fluids between tanks. So we'll be using the pump robots first. I'll stick them onto here, and yep. One of the other changes that we'll get into, you notice how they start off with a black center, and then they get nice and red as they get power. So it kind of has an indication of how much power these guys have. Okay, so now let's. Apparently they can also wear helmets, these robots, which is kind of cool. I haven't tried it out, but yeah. Anyway, let's go to the zone planner, which has a new look as well. This is not rendering properly for some reason. So it looks like the oil is here, but it's actually right here. So these guys are the tanks. This is just because how I made it initially. But anyways, the oil, I'm just gonna highlight this whole place for oil. This is where the robots are. This is like that diamond block is right here. I don't know if you can see that. And we're effectively this little tiny gray piece right here. That's the zone planner. So this is the tank that's right behind us for oil. That's another one for oil. And the oil itself is right about here. So let's go ahead and mark the oil pumping spot. So just like, we'll use purple. So just like the picker robots, you need to mark the spot in which they're going to work. I'm just going to highlight this whole thing here. Then you also need to indicate the spot where they need to drop off items. So in this case, we're dropping off fluids into this pump right behind me. And we'll call this oil pumping. Okay. And, oh, that's the other thing. The zone planner now, you can name map locations, which is great and very much needed, because now I remember what's what. We're going to call oil transfer another zone. We're going to make this one blue. Now we're going to make it red. And we're going to just say transfer between these two. And we'll just highlight those two. Note, I don't have to combine them. I don't have to link them up in like that. You don't need to do that. You just need to have the locations in which they're working be marked at all. So we're just gonna go do that. It can be kind of sloppy. It's no big deal. You don't have to be very precise. As long as you're excluding what you want to exclude and including what you want to exclude. So oil pumping, oil transfer, and then we'll have a water pumping and water transfer. So water pumping, I'm going to use cyan. We're going to pump from here. Oops. We're in plus mode. We're going to pump from here and drop it off right here. And then the water transfer will go up there. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, great. So we got oil pumping, oil transfer, water pumping, water transfer. It'd be nice to kind of be able to see exactly what those locations are. Maybe that's a thing they'll add later. Who knows? We can get rid of the zone planner. It doesn't need to be there now. These map locations are marked now. They're basically marked locations. They almost serve the purpose as if you put construction markers down. So before we get these guys working, we're going to have them both do oil pumping. So oil pumping and oil pumping. So now we're ready to go, right? We can just get them starting. Wrong. Because robots need a place to drop things off. And remember, robots only drop things off when they're on docking stations. And so we need to add docking stations to this tank. Also new in the 7 version of Buildcraft is that robots now only drop off things in pipes. Before, they used to kind of like be able to drop them off directly to a chest if they were right next to it, and maybe the same for a tank, I'm not sure. But now they can't. Now they actually have to put them into the pipe. So that's a little change made that is no longer the same as it was before. Anyway. So what we're going to have it do is that if there is space for fluid, and specifically space for oil, we're going to have robots. We're going to have this able to accept fluids. You might notice that there's also some different things you can have. There's now a force robot, which forces a specific type of robot to go there. You just click here and you can go through any of the robots. You can also forbid specific robots. Thing we'll actually mess with a little bit later. You can do more or less the same thing. You can actually load and unload specific things. Yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. Okay, so we'll have that just copied and pasted right there. Okay, I think that'll do it. Yeah. Okay, so now we are ready to go. Now these robots are ready to go. Yeah, let's just have them ready to go. Okay, so red robot and blue robot. Alright, so cool. There they go. So they're off. They're on their way, merry way, to the oil geyser. I'm expecting them to pump from the geyser, although actually I think these are oil pumping possible locations. Yeah, they actually are. Okay. I had filled up some of these guys with oil. In fact, I think that is all oil that I set here, but we're going to be able to see them in action. So I gave them 2 stations because there's 2 robots that I want to do things here, and as you see now, they're working. They're dropping off their oil, and then they're going to go back. And this time, presumably, they go back to the geyser. So I actually just want to see where they're going to be heading. I had experienced these guys getting stopped. Actually, they got stuck at another time, so I kind of want to see what happens to them. Oh, did he go all the way down? Oh, he's going down. They're actually going down to the bottom. Ooh, wow, that's interesting. I had no idea. Let's go ahead and follow them. See where they go. My goodness. There they go. Whoa. Huh. They actually pumped from random locations here. This is very odd. But here's my robot. Hey, robot. I seem to be stuck, actually. I can't get past the robots. That's weird. Huh, okay. Well, there they go. So they actually kind of go and dive right down into geysers, and here they come. And now they're going to go back and drop off the fluids. So cool. So this is how these guys work. Pretty cool. I'm going to essentially speed up their process and add some more oil here. And we'll use this for transport. So now it's time to look at the tank robot. And we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, time to look at the tank robot. So first of all, before we place... Well, you know what? We'll get these guys charging. Why not? And I'll put 2 of them here, even though I probably will only use 1. And in this case, we're going to have them work in the oil transfer location. Now remember, this map location specified an area that contained this tank as well as that tank. So we want to transfer oil from this tank over to there. So there's actually, the way you do it is you actually need a just like you would pull out oil, you need either emerald or wooden pipe. And then a liquid pipe, I should say. Put a docking station on it, and now you specify a location that the robot can go to in order to pull out oil. And now you'll see there is the option to provide fluids to the robot. Pretty fun. And again, the same type of other options that you normally would see. So we're going to have provide fluids of an oil variety. If this thing contains, let's just say, contains fluid in tank is oil. So if there's oil in this tank, you can provide oil to the robot. And then if we go over to here, we'll just actually take the same gate we copied before and should be able to paste it right here. There we go. Okay, so just like before, if there's space for oil, space for fluid, you can accept oil into this pipe, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna give it a second one. Nah, we're just gonna give it one. That's fine. Okay, because we only need to transport it to there, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on yellow, and that should turn on this one pump robot. So he's gonna go exactly to where he was being called to. And once again, you can tell that a robot is being called to this station because it's yellow. So he's pumping out oil, and you can see the oil level going down. And then once he fills, and he actually can hold about a full tank. So he actually holds quite a lot, a little more than the pump robots. And now he's... Hey, what gives? Well, it's kind of obvious when you think about it. This is actually set to that when there's... When there's space for fluid of oil, go ahead and accept oil. So the robot actually is going to its nearest station that it can go to, and that is this one. So why wouldn't it go to this one, right? Well, we want it to transfer over to there. How do we do it? Well, it's actually very easy. So this is an emerald OR gate. We actually need to first of all switch this to an emerald AND gate. So I want to put a gate there. We're gonna get rid of this one. Get rid of it, okay. And I am going to set this to, well, we're gonna actually paste the same thing into this again. So it's gonna be functioning the same way it was before. Except now, the second criteria is that if there's space for fluid of oil, again, what we're also gonna do is forbid a certain type of robot. We're gonna forbid the tank robot from going here. So space for fluid of oil, what you do is accept fluids and just don't accept a tank robot. So now you notice that the tank robot is actually going to this gate instead, this docking station instead. So we're gonna go ahead and let him do his job first because I don't know what happens when you actually, well, let's test. Yeah, okay. And then let's clear that. Let's copy the text over to... Oh, that's interesting. You know what? It's fine if it's an OR gate. It doesn't really matter. It should kind of be an AND gate, but it's fine. Different logic type. That's okay. It's going to function the same way. Okay, so now what's happening is that the robot, this tank robot, can only go over to here. Is he out of power? No. He's okay. Yeah, okay, so he's, oh, did he transfer some? I think he did, actually. Yeah, look. Transferred some. There you go. Okay, so the pump robot's, again, gonna suck out some oil. Here he goes, sucking out oil. Sucking out that oil. And now going back. And placing it right back into here. So, there you go. That's the transferring of robots, transferring of fluids. Pretty cool. I'll go ahead and actually set it up for water just for fun, just so we can mess around. All right. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Well, I have to admit I'm having some problems. Now, I didn't have any problems with the transfer robot. The tank robot works absolutely fine. Hooray for tank robots. They're super simple and it's great. The pump robots, however, I found are kind of buggy. There's some bugs. I don't know if I'm just using them wrong or what. So the tanks, they did their job. They moved their stuff. If you want to see them in action, I actually do. Let's go ahead. Let's give tank robots something to do. So there we go. We'll just throw some oil in there. Oh, he's already filled up at that. In this guy, let's just throw some water. Yay! Okay, so tank robots are going to do their thing. They're going to transport the water from this tank into that one, and the oil from this one into that one, eventually. They have to update themselves again, but if we want to speed things along, we can just reset their AI, and there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and have these guys run. First, let's look at the water robot. So the water robot, unlike the oil robot, goes to the water. Well, this is so far the same. He goes. He's going to pick up some water, and he does, and he goes right back. I have no idea why. Apparently there's no place for him to drop off water, which is kind of bupkis, because I know that, for example, the robot over here can... Well, actually, let's go ahead and see. If I say accepts fluids, water, in theory, the tank robot here should actually just go right back and transport it back. So, just like we've seen before, he would be doing an infinite loop of transporting water to and from here, because this is the nearest station to where he's at right now. Yeah, so it works. He can drop off liquids, and in fact, this one is forbidding him to go there. But if I just say accept fluids, and there's space for fluid, the pump robot for water should go there when I reset the AI like this. But this robot has water in it, and it's waiting to go somewhere to drop off the water, and I don't know what to do. I tried both just accepts fluid water. That doesn't work. I've tried unload load water. That doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. Now the oil robot's a little different. So he was working fine just before. As you saw, they were working no problem. So if I turn him on again, so he's going to the oil geyser. The geyser I got rid of actually to see what was going on, because what I was noticing was that I was losing robots. First of all, you notice that his pathing is weird. The robot's going over here. It's like the robot is looking to go down, I think, all the way, because it's a really long place. Maybe it's looking to get the bottom block. So he goes up to the geyser. This is normal. This isn't anything strange so far. And then proceeds to go down. And down he goes. So let's go ahead and follow the robot. So we see the robot's still there, still there, still there. He's going down. He's going down. I want to make sure that he doesn't go up. Going down, going down, going down. Keeps going down, and then I don't know where he goes. I think he's stuck inside somewhere. I think the robot is stuck. And I don't know where, and I don't know why, and I don't know how, and I don't know what to do. But the robot keeps on getting stuck. And calling the robot back doesn't work. The robot gets stuck. I don't know what to say. But it's going to make transporting oil out quite difficult, that's for sure. So, as it stands, the unfortunate news is that I don't have the ability to mess with robots for pumping. That's unfortunate, but we can still mess with robots for transporting. And so that's what we'll do. We'll pump using a normal method, but we'll transport using the robots. Because it's fun, and it totally works. Okay, so we'll do it that way. We're going to go back to the normal world and see where we are. Alright, see you in just a second. And we're back once again on the top of the mountain, and now it's time to put the robots into our world. So we're going to be putting the tank robots into the world to transport oil from over here. In fact, you can actually see the oil geyser oil fall. It's not a waterfall, it's an oil fall. That will go away once we start pumping oil, and then this geyser won't, this oil fall won't be here anymore. So it looks cool now, but it's going to be gone pretty soon. But you can see the tank right there I just added. For now, that'll be its height. And we'll just pull out from the bottom, and it seems like that'll be cool, because then the robots will just sort of kind of be floating and traveling across this chasm. So that would be kind of cool. So anyway, let's go ahead and just set up the pumping. Yeah, that's pretty standard pumping we're going to be doing. It's nothing too crazy. So let's see. Let's actually find the geyser's top. It's a very important fact. They did change as of, I think a few updates ago. You're not really able to swim in oil anymore. You kind of used to be able to. Now it's just you just don't swim. You really sink. If I jump down in here, I'd just be dead. There'd be no way. I wouldn't be able to swim. So, which is actually kind of how it should be, because yeah, You shouldn't be able to swim in oil. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is just the very, very standard. We've done this before. We'll just stick the pump here. The pump doesn't look that much different than the new Buildcraft. It looks pretty standard. And what we're going to be doing is, well, yeah, we'll be running the pump. The pump will be a combustion engine, and I do have the redstone engines there for no reason whatsoever. Alright, so I'm going to start this sucker up by actually pulling the first bit. And, oh, there we go. So he should have had oil in him. Wait, why isn't this... Oh, right, okay. Alright, good, good, good. And then, okay, water buckets, right. So this pump will heat up in theory, so I should actually keep it cool. And I will do that via, of course, the aqueous accumulator. And I'm just going to stick one... okay, I'm not going to put it right underneath. Yeah, I will put it right underneath. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There we go. I'm actually leaving room for the water that we're going to add. So we got to make a spring, and right there, and right there. And then we got an aqueous accumulator right here. We're just going to stick it right... Oh. That's fine. We'll just stick it right here. I meant to put it somewhere else, but that's okay. I think we'll be alright. Yeah, it'll just be a little awkward, that's all. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. We'll put quartz pipes here for funsies. And there you go. And, oh, this freezes. I believe it doesn't freeze if you stick stuff over top. Pretty sure it doesn't. Alright, so that's the idea. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So that's enough oil to get it going and enough of everything else. We will need something other than the quartz pipes, so we'll need a stone pipe. So something to pump it out, and then we'll just keep it going here. This will connect. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, so there you go. Ta-da! This is not really difficult. So I'm gonna run this pump over there, this pipe over there. So I'll be right back. Okay, there it is, the wonderful pipeline. It's like we've never done this before. And we're going to do something we actually never did before, technically, in terms of pumping. We're actually going to use red pipe wire and basically pipe wire logic and gate logic to run this. This is an easy way, so I don't have to attend it to turn it on and off. Pipe wire is cheap, and it's easy to come by, and yeah, there we go. So we'll just set it so that if... here we go. If the red pipe signal is on, send that a red zone signal. That's it. And yeah, we can have it like if this is not red and that sort of thing, but it's got plenty of water and it's running on oil, not on anything else, so it's going to be fine. And then we'll do it this way. We will, actually what I should probably do is put this on the side just in case I want to run like a robot at some point to here. Okay, so if it contains... if there's space for fluid, put out a red pipe signal. Hey, look at that. We're going to pump oil. And here it comes. Woohoo! And it actually will fill up this combustion engine first. Well, it'll fill up halfway here and halfway over to there. But that should... Hey. Okay, there we go. Huh. That's how it works, really? I never really knew that. Every block it kind of goes down and does that. That's interesting. But eventually it'll go down to the bulb at the bottom, and then it'll just kind of keep its level for a while. But anyway, so it'll pump slowly for a while, but it will pump. So oil will be coming in here in a relatively slow fashion. So we'll just let that happen. And now let's go back to the base and make some robots and have some places for them to have a robot home. Okay, be right back. Back at the base, now we actually have to do some crafting, and we're actually going to do this. So first of all, we need a what's called a programming table, and I think it's okay. It's helps that we read. There it is, programming table. This is so we can actually make. And I'll show you these robots themselves. So we're gonna be able to. We're gonna need to make Here it is, the tank robot. Okay, so tank robot's made by taking a generic basic robot and putting a redstone board there. So we need a redstone board. We also need a generic robot. So, generic robot is easily made, but it takes a while. The redstone crystal is made from a, generic robot. Here, it takes 2 diamond chipsets, iron ingots, and a redstone crystal. Redstone crystal is made in an assembly table from a block of redstone. So actually, quite significant. We're going to be making 2 robots. So here we go. Because we're going to have 2 tank robots floating around here. So we'll have 2 of them. So these guys are... There you go. So these guys are blank right now. And oh, I need some paper. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back with paper. So these robots are blank right now. We're going to have to write them in the redstone board or whatever. You have to program the board. I think that's how it works. So let's actually try that. The programming table is like with lasers and whatnot, like normal. So I'm just going to throw it right down here. I think here, and I get to choose. Yeah, that's it. Tank. Okay, they're all... Okay, tank, that's what we want. Just do it. Yeah, it's using some power. Hey, cool. Use them lasers. Figure out which ones. Keep doing it. Make another one. There you go. Alright, cool. So we have 2 boards. They do not stack. It's fine. Integration table, I think, is where we do it. Ta-da! It's a robot. And we just gotta program it with some more lasers. It's a tank robot. Oh, that's so cool. And they start out full 20% charged. So that's pretty good. Just so that means you can put them on any docking station whatsoever. Okay. And then we'll just do that. And I'm not sure if they stack. I'm not really sure. We also need some other things. We need, docking stations. That's right. So while this guy gets made, we'll run back here to my little area of assorted thingies. 6 golden chipsets are needed for docking stations, which... New. Okay, wait. It's this way. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I need to make 6 of these based on what we actually have to do. 2 of them are going to be their home bases that they charge from. 2 of them are going to be from at the bottom of the tank that they're going to be transferring from, and 2 of them are at the top of the tank they're going to be transferring to, or at least another part of the tank they're going to be transferring to. Got it. Okay. That's it. And then we'll grab this stuff, and I think we're good to go. I think we can start placing these robots in the world and have them actually work. Oh, one more thing we do need is the zone planner. Okay, they don't stack. But let's just get the robots started. Okay, so where are we going to put them? We're actually going to put them right here. And I figure we have a nice, like, chargeable thing ready to go. The only other thing I would say is that I think what I want to have happen is I will have a little switch that turns on the red pipe wire here. So I think I can do that. Yeah, I should be able to do that. I just need I need to make a lever. I have so many levers, but I just never have them when I need them. All right, so we'll put a switch like right. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it pretty later on. Yeah. Okay, we'll just put it right. No. Let's make it kind of nice. We need a place where I can have this so that I can turn on this system whenever I want. We'll just put it like here. Yeah, that'll be okay. That'll be okay. And then where's the? Wait, where'd it go? Where's the lever? Did I just totally miss the lever? Okay, we'll just make another one. I have so many levers, but for some reason I lost the lever. I don't know how that... Okay, it's actually there. Anyways, way to go, Minecraft. Anyway, basic gate right here, and basically what'll be... I actually want the state of this to be switched where that is off. So, if it's redstone signal off, turn the red pipe signal on. Right now it's off. If I do this, now the pumps are going to start to go. Well, these guys, but there's nothing to actually power, so that's why they're not going. But what that'll do is it'll allow us to put the robots, which are going to be right here. So the robots are going to be over here. I guess I can throw them like on these two that already existing. Yeah, why not, right? We can put them on their sides. That's okay. And so these guys will be transferring. I will need emerald gates up here. I don't necessarily need them to be emerald, but this just makes it easier. And then now let's set up their logic. So I'm going to have them work based off of whether this thing needs some oil and whether the other tank has oil. And then that will get them working, and if it's not the case, they won't go. If it is the case, they will go. So I'll set up the logic first, and then I will, and then I'll put the robots in last. Okay, so let me just gather a few things, and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I got some logic here for you. Put in the, okay. So I have a gate over here where basically the green pipe signal is on if there's room for any liquid in this pipe. So the green pipe signal runs up and basically to these docking stations here. And so the emerald ore gate is linked to that. So this is exactly like we just saw in the creative world, where if there is no space, if the green pipe signal is off, and thusly that would be this is all full, it's just going to tell the robots to go to the station. And if the green pipe signal is on, it tells them to work in the area, and we'll specify that with the zone planner, which, by the way, is also crazy expensive. But anyway, I digress. So this is fine and all, but the problem is sometimes I won't want the robots to work. So how do I shut them off when I want them to? And that's where this guy comes in. So this switch is just on for the robots being on and off for the robots being off. And it's linked to this yellow pipe wire, which goes to both of these stations. So how I want to set this up is that right now, as it stands, the robots would be working because the green pipe signal is on. What I want to do is use the emerald ore gate logic to say that the green pipe signal is on, yes, then tell it to work in the area, but only if also the yellow pipe signal is on. So now you see this is not true anymore. If I turn this on, however, now it's true. So that's a real easy way, just to use these emerald gates, and that's actually why these gates are very good for this. So now we can actually put our robots here, and they should be going to the ore gate. Now the one last thing is that if the yellow signal is off, have them go to their place. I don't want it to be a yellow signal off here because that won't be true, because the yellow has to be off and the green off in order for that to be true. So yeah, I'll just add this one other thing, which would basically say if the yellow pipe signal is off, go to the station, and that will tell the robots to just reset your AI and go to the station. Alright, so come on, where are you? We could also probably do this with like a robot in station type of thing, but maybe not. Alright, there you go. Yeah, I could be using the gate copier, but I just don't have the room right now in my inventory. Okay, so there you go. And now we're actually going to throw our robots on here, because like I said before, we could have done it at the end, but yeah, we're going to throw the robots on here. Oop. Okay, so the robots are getting powered. Hooray, 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 hooray. Actually, no, they're not. Now they're getting powered, so that's why I have that little switch there, just for fun, because we want to make sure the robots get power. We could have it switched to detect when the robots need power, but for now I'm just going to have this run until, until the robots are full. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up some more of the robot logic. Be right back. Okay, step one on our robot logic tour is the, this is the main base oil tank. And here is where we want robots to drop off fluid. So we need to have a setup for 2 robots, because we have 2 tank robots, so we're going to want to have the ability for both of them to go to the places at the same time. And in this case, if there is space for fluid, we're just going to have it accept fluids. And we don't need anything more than just this basic gate, because, well, you can do it, first of all, and it's also good to show you that. But Also, it's just there's no other robots competing for this area in our setup, so there you go. Okay, off to the next location, and I'll be right back. The next stop on our robotic logic tour is the tank that actually has some oil in it, and that's over here. So this is where we just set up our little pumping system, and for here we're going to be setting up 2 emerald extraction pipes, basically doing the same thing as well, we were setting up before. So just use this. A docking station would be nice. 2 of them to be precise. And then these guys are going to be set up similarly. If the tank has stuff in it, fluid in tank, provide fluids. There you go. Okay, exactly. Fluid in tank, provide fluids. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll be right back in the main base area, and we'll be finishing up our robot setup and then testing our robots out. All back, and now this episode is really long, so I guess sorry guys, unless you really enjoy the long episodes, in which case you're welcome? I don't know. Anyway, last part here is the zone planner. So we now have a zone planner, hooray, in this world. Cool. So where are we? We're right here according to the zone planner, and I have no idea where the actual location is, but it's kind of right in this vicinity, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark it with beautiful pink and just say it's somewhere here, guys. I'm not really sure where. Wherever that location is, actually wherever the tank is, I'm not really sure where it is. Doesn't matter. And then I'm going to zoom out and say that I know that the tank is somewhere over here, so right over there. We're going to call this oil transfer. Hey, it's like the other, it's like our creative world. Okay, so this is the oil transfer location. So this is the place where we transfer oil. And map locations identify the chunk from the very top to the very bottom. You can actually specify with like construction markers and whatnot, but that's cool. Anyway, so okay, there we go. I think we can just take this with us. It's no big deal. And now let's go ahead and program these robots to say where they should work. That's the almost last thing. There is one more detail to fix. So in order to tell them where they should work, we actually have to specify the map location. And then we're set to go. We're good to go then, actually. Except for one little thing. The problem is that these robots are going to have to go all the way out and around my base and blah, blah, blah. But instead, I'm gonna give them a little hole. So I think they will use this hole. I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure that's kind of how they roll. So let's actually see. Oh, they shouldn't use this hole. I don't want them to use that hole. Although I could, but yeah. Okay, so like I said, so they're not going now because they're not set up to do so. The green pipe signal is coming from here, detecting when there's room for any liquid in this pipe. When there's room for liquid in this pipe, the green pipe signal is on. So the green pipe wire is on, signifying that they should work in its area, but it only is true if the yellow pipe signal is on, which is linked to the status of this lever right here. So when I flick this on, it will indicate that it should work in the area. Right now it's off, which indicates that it needs to go to its station. It doesn't do work. And if the green pipe signal is off when this is on, it means the robot will just come right back here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Robots, ahoy! They're starting their... Oh boy. I'm a little scared by that. Robots going through the ground is a very, very dangerous thing. So I hope they didn't get stuck. I really hope they didn't get stuck. Oh my goodness. I have no idea if they got stuck or not. Let's go ahead. We're going to watch them in the dark of night. I actually made a little tunnel and everything up there. It is really nice. They did not do what I thought they were going to do. Wow, okay. Robots. Darn you, robots. This is too complicated a task for you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, where are the robots? Where are they? I am hoping that they actually make it to the tank. Oh boy. Maybe they're just going through the ground because that's just what they do. Oh no. They're there! They made it! Oh my... Wow. Wow, they made it to the tank. Did not think this would happen. Hey. Oh. Oh, okay, we did fill up the tank. Okay. Wow, the tank is full. Didn't think that was happening. Okay, okay, and they're all full, so they're coming back. And I'm just gonna assume they're gonna travel back in the same manner they did before, which is kind of to go through things. Okay. Well, I guess we should go back to the place real quick, because they're not gonna take any normal route. They're just gonna go right through things, it seems. Okay, they're going directly through stuff. I'm going to go here quickly. Don't die. Okay, there we go. Okay, here I go. And just ran out of my ender pearls, and here we are. We will see the robots maybe coming to the tank. Oh, you know what? I should probably have looked at this before, but that's okay. Let me go back up. I forgot where we were actually going. We were going right up here, seeing if the robots made it back to here. They did. Hi, robots. Look at that. All right, we got robots in our world. This is awesome. Wow, guys. In the dark of the night, I do this. The robots just pass through things, I suppose. Well, that's the easy way. Yeah, just have them pass through things. Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. So we have a little operation here, which is now involving robots. Now with robots. Cool. Okay, guys. Again, sorry for the long episode, but like I said, I had a lot to do in this one, I think. So cool. Awesome. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, where we probably mess around with robots again, or at least set up that robot base area maybe a little more. I don't know. We'll do something fun. Okay. See you later, guys. Bye-bye now.